Chapter 12. Heading home. Josh and Howard had no choice but to take Mr. Crab home. They brought him to his friend's door, got the key out from behind the bushes, and let him inside. "Go over to the kitchen sink and splash some water on your face," said George. "Aye, aye, sir," said Captain Underpants. He did as he was told, and in no time at all he was back to his grumpy old self. "I wonder what's going to happen in 2 weeks," said Howard as he and George walked at home. I'm sure it's no big deal," said George. "If Melvin can handle it, we can handle it." Soon George and Howard were back up in their treehouse. Carefully they placed Quacker's eggs on some soft pillars under a few desk lamps. "There," said George. "That should keep them warm and cozy." George and Howard were that tired. They hadn't slept in over 30 hours, and they'd been running for their lives most of that time. "I need a serious nap," said Howard as he settled it into his beanbag chair. "Me too," said George as he collapsed it into his own beanbag chair. "Saving the world is exhausting." "I'm still a little worried about that whole 2 weeks thing," said Howard. "That sounds really bad." "Relax," said George. "There's nothing we can do about it anyway. Let's try to stay out of trouble for the next 2 weeks," said Howard. "If the world is going to end, I don't want to be stuck in detention the whole time." "Oh, don't worry so much," said George. "Besides, how much trouble could we get into in 2 weeks anyway?" Chapter 13. 11 minutes later. "George! Howard! Get down here right now!" George and Howard opened their eyes. Wearily, he stumbled to the treehouse door and looked at them. George's mum and dad and Howard's mum were all standing down in the yard, looking very angry. "The school called," George's dad said. "They told us that you kids weren't in class today." Oh," said George. "We're that," said Howard. "Would you mind explaining what you've been doing all day?" asked Howard's mum angrily. George and Howard could hide in the truth no longer. They decided to confess everything. "We couldn't go to school today," said George. "We're to save the earth from an evil, crazy guy who was riding around in a giant pair of robotic pants." "Yeah," said Howard. "We spent the last day traveling through time, running from dinosaurs, and teaching cavemen how to defend themselves." "Very funny," shouted George's dad. "If you kids think you can skip school and goof around all day, you're in for a big surprise." George and Howard had never seen their parents so angry. The two boys spent the next 5 hours mowing lawns, weeding gardens, vacuuming houses, washing cars, dusting furniture, cleaning out garages, whitewashing fences, doing dishes, folding laundry, and taking out garbage. It was exhausting work, but it was nothing compared to what was to come next. Chapter 13. What was to come next? George and Howard had never been so tired in all their lives. At 9:30 p.m., they grunted good night to each other and leaped into their houses like zombies. "Would you like a snack, dear?" said Howard's mother. "No, thanks," he mumbled. He was too tired for a snack, too tired to take a bath, too tired to put his pajamas on or take his shoes off. He didn't even have the energy to turn out his bedroom light. He just collapsed on top of his bed and fell asleep instantly. 22 seconds later, the telephone rang. It was George. Howard's mother brought the phone into his room and held it up to his ear. Howard was too tired to even say hello. He just mumbled. "I just remembered something," said George, panicking. "Tomorrow is test day." Howard's bloodshot eyes popped open and he sat up straight. "Oh no!" Howard cried. "I forgot all about that." "Me too," said George. "We're having major tests in all of our classes tomorrow. We are gonna have to stay up all night long and study." Chapter 15. Proving oneself or taunt. When the sun rose the next day, George and Howard were still going through their spelling checklists. George was almost done studying. Howard still had to read 44 pages of his natural history textbook. "Breakfast is ready!" shouted George's dad from downstairs. George stumbled down exhaustedly and tried to smoosh some waffles into his mouth. He missed it. Meanwhile, Howard was sitting at his breakfast table in a burnt-out stupor, buttering his cereal and pouring milk on his toast. "Did you get any sleep at all last night?" asked Howard's mom. "Okay," Howard answered. Howard's answer didn't make any sense, but it was the best he could do under the circumstances. Before long, George and Howard were ready for school. They met up, as they did every school day, in George's front yard. "Are you ready for all of our big tests today?" asked George grumpily. "Pretty good," said Howard. He was so tired that he couldn't even answer a simple question from his best friend correctly. How was he going to manage a day's worth of tests? "Let's get this over with," George moaned. "Wait," said Howard. "I want to check on Quacker's eggs before we go to school." Howard wobbled to George's backyard and hoisted himself up the ladder to the treehouse. "Hurry up," said George. Howard did not answer. "Hey," shouted George. "We're gonna be late." Howard did not come down.